Welcome to my weekly video blog, and perhaps I should start by explaining why I am wearing this. Children in Need is a conglomerate of charities. It's one of two that feature per year in a national sense in terms of fundraising. So there's a national emphasis in the autumn on a particular day to raise money for this conglomerate, and it goes out to help all sorts of individuals. Some of them might be bereavement counselling for families who have lost children. For some it might be medical care for some, rather rare diseases that affect children, and it's generally children's charities. And so we often do fundraising events. One such fundraising event this week just involved me having to wear this. It's supposed to be, believe it or not, a sort of nightie. I don't know if they sort of even wear them probably anymore. But there we are. So that's what it is. Unfortunately, it sort of makes me look, it's even more, it's just very, very strange, but there we are. So I thought I'd wear it just to show people, I don't mind making a zebra of myself, and yes, it's got a little pink tongue. I don't know if you can see from there. Perhaps if I stand up here, it has got a little pocket with a mouth and a tongue that sticks out as well. I don't mind making a zebra of myself for charity. In fact, this week has really had a lot of everything, a touch of everything in it. It really has. We started with a fall, in fact. Yes, I took a dive. Doesn't happen very often. Usually when it happens, I end up breaking something. The good news was that something broke my fall this time. The bad news was it was about 6 buckets full of water. So I got very wet, and we did spend about 20 minutes clearing up all the water afterwards. I am fine, but I'm not sure the buckets will be able to hold water anymore. So let's leave it at that. We also had the AGM, the Annual General Meeting, for the allotment this week, which was fantastic. It was all over in about an hour and a half. They went very, very quickly through their list of an agenda that they had to get sorted out. It was a bit bizarre though. Such subjects as should we ban hose pipes, and can we find ways of tracking the movements of wireworm, which is a pest for potatoes, burrows into potatoes, across the site. Things like that. So it was bizarre. They did do elections to their committees, but as I've only been there a few months, I decided not to go for that. I may go for that next year if if I can sort of work out what's going on politically speaking there across the next year. So that involved a meal, a family meal, and then a trip there. There are several things that I want to mention this week of quite significant importance, in fact. The first one is that Bonnie, the Mottled Budgie, has died. Now, in one way this is not surprising. She was the mate of Little Boom, who died a week or two ago. In terms of Bonnie, she pined away, basically. It is very possible for animals to give up the will to live. They do this if they are particularly bonded with another animal that dies. I've come across it before, but in fact with another bird called Bonnie, in fact. But that was a zebrafinch, and she survived because she had chicks at the time her mate Pettis died, and I think the chicks, she had to deal with the chicks, and that gave her something to do. Whereas Bonnie the Budgie didn't have anything to do, and so she pined away. Now, I've made some decisions regarding the future of the Pulver House of Birds Aviary, and in short, it doesn't now have a long future for budgies. Do you know, the problem is that budgies are not really outdoor aviary birds, not in climes like this, and I lose a substantial amount each autumn. I lost a lot as well when I first put them out there, for acclimatisation problems. They are quite expensive, and they don't do much. They don't reproduce, really. They don't do anything like that. So I am not going to buy any more budgies, okay? I am now going to leave the stock that I have. I'm not sending any of my budgies to market. I'm keeping all the budgies that I've got. But when they die, they are not being replaced. And when there's only one or two left, those will become cage-bound in the aviary, and that flight's going to be given over to finches. Now, I may have to rethink what I'm doing with this. I may create a separate flight for the canaries and try breeding them. I don't know. I haven't decided that yet. There will always be a Jens the Budgie. I do promise that. Even if that is a budgie that is kept within the cage in the aviary and brought in at night, there will always be a Jens the Budgie. Jens the Budgie will outlive the aviary itself. I don't really foresee a time in the future where I don't have one pet budgie, but it will be more a pet than an aviary bird, returning to its origins, so to speak. So that's one thing that I wanted to say. The other thing to say was that I managed to get into, sort of, the loft of Markenfield this week. I borrowed some steps from some of my family, and I wasn't able to get into the loft because they weren't high enough, but I was able to get high enough to be able to see into the loft. We found that it's a huge area, runs the whole length of the house. It's got a cold water storage tank in it of a reasonable size. As you would imagine, most of it is not weight bearing, but there is a considerable area that has been obviously used for storage, and it is actually weight bearing. And if I can get up there, I can make the rest of it weight bearing, even for somebody quite as heavy as me. If it can hold a cold water storage tank, it can hold me. So, and I think I would use that as storage. That's something that I'm looking into. What I really want to do is not buy a ladder. What I want to do is borrow a ladder that's big enough to get me in there, and then affix one of those ladders that you pull down. I think that would be best. So we're going to sort of think about that next year, really. I guess that is all I have for you this week. It's been, it's been a week where I've had some really, really good days, excellent days, I might say, and some really, really poor days as well. It's been a microcosm of everything. I've also been able to put into practice some of the eating habits that I've been able to do, some of the sleeping habits that I've been able to do, because I found that sleeping, getting the right amount of sleep is actually more important than you might think. With that said, I'm going to leave you now. I'm going to exit the way I came in, walk up the stairs. My fantastic spiral staircase. In fact, one of the reasons that I actually bought the house in the first place. So say goodbye to my zebra, because you won't see me ever wearing this again, apart from probably for children in need next year.